What about Egan, Scott? What are you hearing the latest on that? Because there seems to be suggestions, certainly that I was hearing, that he might not even have to come back into Glasgow. He might just make his way straight to France. I think he was given an extended break, wasn't he? I think it's really close now to just turning up there and having his medical and completing this deal.
It seems to be, I think, in the last couple of hours, Jacko, it's been reported, certainly in, if not France, but Morocco, that Igamane might be in France already, ready for a medical
It
and
wouldn't
stuff.
surprise me.
Look, if that's the case, so be it. Rangers, rightly or wrongly, are playing their cards very close to their chest with us. I mean, the last kind of unofficial correspondence for Rangers with us was that no official bid had come in yet, or certainly no acceptable bid had come in for Egan. Look, it
Was that this afternoon, Scott?
No, that would have been like yesterday. So I mean, it could have moved on from there. And obviously, we know these things can move very quickly. But no, I'd be amazed if there's so much reporting, Jacko, between France and Morocco that this has to be a goer, surely. I mean, you can partly understand Rangers maybe know what to jeopardise such a big move, especially when it's a huge, or it might be a huge fee coming in. But they're very tight-lipped at the minute. But if you believe as I say, the reports from abroad, it seems to be that this is well down the line already.
Are you anticipating a certain price, Scott?
I was going to ask that.
Look, this is just my personal opinion. I'd be surprised if Rangers get the 15 million euros that's been talked about. I think if they get that, it'd be an unbelievable deal for a guy that they paid 1.5 for. And I think we've raved about Egan, Jacko, at certain points last season, the goal against Spurs, the hat-trick at Easter Road and stuff like that, the winner against Celtic, but it was all a bit sporadic. I still felt as if he had, he wasn't quite at the level required. So I think if they get that kind of money, they'd be doing amazingly well. My gut would say, it might be a bit less than that. I think you could be talking about 10, maybe even just under that. But that's only my opinion. There's obviously add-ons on top of that, and there might be a sell-on clause as well, for the Moroccan club. So the details are a bit sketchy.
Which could be as high as 30%.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a big chunk.
Well, if you were to sell for, put it this way, if you sell for 15 million, and as I keep saying, Dan, it's on the profit you made.
Profit, say.
So you're still looking at about, if it was 15 million, it'd be 4 million, which still means that you're up over the 10 mark. If that's the figures that you're looking at. And by the way, if Rangers do complete this deal and he does go to Lille, I would imagine that part of that is Rangers inserting a pretty hefty sell on. So that, they'll hope that sometime in the future,
the next big move,
they get another hit out of it.
See, by the way, just on Scott saying there about the price, see if Rangers get 15 million euros or even a bit less, 10 million, I think that's absolutely incredible.
If they can clear 10 million euros of profit on a player that,
unbelievable,
that is still raw, he's
and
still
not only
really
that,
raw.
remember, he didn't get a game for the first few months. He was sitting in the stands.
Listen, there is no doubt when you look at Egan, has the boy got natural ability? He's got bundles of natural ability. He's a talented boy. He's a player that excites the fans because he doesn't know what he's got to do next, so how could they? Really gifted technical football player in terms of his ability on the ball. Is he easy to coach? I'm not sure that he is.
Interesting.
I think, and he's a free spirit. Does he fit into a system? It depends how disciplined you're looking for that system to be. If you are really disciplined and you're looking for trigger points in terms of press and defence, is Egan the guy for that? Well, I think, Barry Ferguson had problems trying to fit him into the Rangers attack towards the end of last season. I think it was largely to do that. I don't know how easy he is or I don't know how easy it is to get instructions into him and into his head, because I think the boy just wants to go and be a bit of a maverick and play the game the way that he wants to play it. And he's really good at that. But that potentially, is that a question mark in terms of how far he can go in the game? I think it is, because you need to be able to take on instructions.
Aye. A couple of people asking there. Darren was just asking Keith about Dessers. Any news on that? Have we heard anything?
Scott, I'll pass that over you. As far as I can see, I've been waiting, because there was this suggestion that Feyenoord
Might enter the fray.
might try and break the deadlock on this that is kind of generated between Rangers and AEK Athens. But I've seen no sign of Feyenoord making anything official on that, or making a move of any kind.
Before you come in, Scott, sorry, we're getting a lot of comments saying the 30%'s not true. The 30% selling. They're asking you, 30%'s not true, it's a lot of rubbish. So 30% isn't true, so I thought I'd just give you the chance to say.
Well, I haven't actually seen the contract, but obviously these guys.
You weren't there when it was signed, aye. Sorry, Scott, Dessers, aye.
Just on Dessers, the last I've heard on it, and I believe it to be true, is obviously the clubs are talking, and from what I hear, there seems to be there's a gap in terms of what AEK want to pay and what Rangers value Dessers. I think that gap's maybe around like a million euros. Some people might think that's a lot. Some people might think maybe it isn't. There should be some kind of compromise. But Rangers have obviously, if they're going to sell Dessers, they've got a price in their head for what they want from us. No matter what you think of Dessers, they still scored 51 goals in 2 seasons. And Rangers have got a European qualifier in 3 weeks' time. Now, talking about Igamane leaving, can you lose Igamane and Dessers before that game without bringing them in? I don't think you could. That would be nigh impossible to get into the Panathinaikos game with what Danilo as your only striker or your main striker. So I suppose it's pretty delicate for Rangers. They're obviously trying to, they're open to guys like that going out if there's decent money coming in. But they have to have guys lined up. They've obviously been linked to a Turgeman and from Israel, and Freegan, the Croatian striker. It looks as if those two are on a potential list of targets. But I suppose it's a balancing act for them just now, Kevin Thelwell, in terms of they want to do business in and out, but they need to make sure they've got a competitive squad ready